And then central market, all they see is dollars. They're happy. Their accountants are happy. Way happier than credit cards. You take 2 months. It's kind of a long time. They heavily incentivize people who are building new technology. So, perfect example. Have you heard of rootstock?
Or what?
Rootstock?
Rootstock.
Have you heard of rootstock? Rootstock.
Rootstock?
ROOTSTOCK.
Oh, no. Is that exchange?
Because no one cares about it. Because there's no tokens around it.
Oh.
It's basically the Ethereum virtual machine using Bitcoin as the native currency.
Really? Yeah. Oh, wow.
You say that, but no one wants to build on it because there aren't incredible numbers of super smart people who are building, advancing the technology, fighting with each other, trying to make it better and move and fix any problems that come up.
Oh, so I guess they just don't have enough support, or is that correct?
The point I'm trying to make is because the Ether token exists, it draws in all these really smart people who want to contribute their time and effort and energy into making it better.
The Ether coin?
I'm sorry?
Is that the Ether coin?
Ethereum, Ethercoin, yeah.
Ethereum. Okay, that's what you call it. Okay.
Ethers are the token. Ethereum is the network.
Okay. So Ether coin is actually implemented into Ethereum. That's what runs the Ethereum blockchain.
That's
right?
what incentivizes the thing, yeah.
Oh. I guess most people don't even know that. They just invest in Ethereum, but they don't know anything about Ether coin. Or
Maybe.
how does the operate the network, right?
I mean, so why would they make a VM of Bitcoin? That's
It already has a VM.
Ah, okay.
Inside of every Bitcoin transaction, there is a computer program.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
A computer program.
computer program.
I like the way you're explaining
The
this. Breaking
blockchain
it down.
developer.
It's an extremely simple computer program.
What program do they run?
It's called Bitcoin Script.
That's the name of the language? Bitcoin script.
It has a very bad name. They,
That's very
Pretty
generic.
original. Yeah,
I know.
it's pretty simple. I guess, and to the point.
I know a lot of programming languages, but I never heard that one.
Have you heard of Solidity?
So what?
Solidity?
Never heard that either.
That's the programming language that compiles down to run on the Ethereum virtual machine.
No.
Bitcoin Script.
Bitcoin script. They need to rename that. I mean, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know. They're very.
I guess it's
Terrible.
kind of original. I mean, if that's what they made, then I guess that's it. What's that?
Might
How would we
as
explain
well.
that makes a lot of sense. How each transaction says VM. That's insane. I never thought about it
It's
that
not a
way.
virtual machine. It's,
Right,
I mean, it's sort of
kind of a script,
but
I guess.
it's a very, very simple program.
Okay, a program. There we go.
Very simple, like Python, kind of like that. It's simple like Python.
Simpler than Python.
So it's
Simpler
basically
than
just a script.
Python. Wow.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have loops.
No.
It doesn't have
Not like Java. Not like Java.
not like Java. But here's what they were doing. So Ethereum has to go to incredible lengths
Yeah.
to prevent a computer program from going bad and ruining Ethereum. Bitcoin does it by making it very simple such that no one can write a program that will ruin Bitcoin.
I've never heard of that.
Write
Write
a
it-
program that will ruin Bitcoin.
Really?
Like, meaning it's not open source and you can't like
Well,
modify
that
it.
has nothing to do with it. So let's.
Like
so
you
you're,
said.
you're a programmer.
Am I programming?
programmed?
Not exactly. I'm a freelance developer.
Okay.
But yeah.
So JavaScript. So
Yes.
So let's say that you set up an infinite loop in your computer program.
Yeah.
Your web page is never going to load.
No, just goes round and round.
Round and round. That little
There's
thing
a
is
loop.
just going to keep spinning.
If the event statement, they just keep
Okay.
going around.
So here's a simple attack. Let's say I create an Ethereum transaction that says infinite loop, and then I submit that to the blockchain. And all those Ethereum miners, all those nodes, will take that, and then instead of doing whatever else they were doing, they would just sit there and spin on that. Spin and spin and spin, and they would basically crash.
Yeah.
So having a complex computer program inside your machine, inside your blockchain, is very difficult to do because you need to prevent someone from doing something really simple, like making an infinite loop and submitting it to everyone.
Okay, so that would be very bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Infinite loop, no way.
Yeah. So it
How
can't
do they
be
prevent that?
hacked into it. That's what the whole point.
Sorry?
Like it can't be hacked into it. Like that's the whole point of it, right? Or kind of like that.
I mean,
So, what I'm thinking,
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
There's a lot. I don't know where you're going with that.
what you're saying
No,
is, so
no.
if it's not broke, don't fix it. I guess Bitcoin kind of. I mean, I guess there probably are other solutions.
Well, it
probably,
makes it
but-
a heck of a lot harder to
Yeah.
actually build things. There's a reason people are building on Ethereum
Okay.
Yeah, Ethereum.
because it's really easy to build programs on it. It's a
Yeah.
lot closer to JavaScript than it is to combinatorial computer science.
Okay.
Wow, that just blew my mind.
Fork of Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Not at all.
Not at all?
One of my co-founders actually helped. He actually told Vitalik not to use a specific type of virtual machine that he was thinking about using at the time, and kind of geared him towards the virtual machine that he was using currently. That's in there now.
Cardano blockchain is even harder.
Oh, Cardano. Oh, Cardano. Poor Charles Hoskins. Where to go with this? I don't know. There's a lot of inside baseball here. I could go down with that route.
Why not? There's huge information there.
Let's go over there and see what they're talking about real quick.
Alright.
I'll come back.
What do you mean?
In Congress,
It's your first time?
Meeting at this meeting, yes, but learning, no.
You've done it, your due diligence about what it takes.
I'm just listening. I don't really know anything. I just like to listen and to increase my understanding. That's all.
So, I mean, this is kind of what we were talking about before, where nation states will mine Bitcoin in order to prevent other nation states from blocking their transactions.
it's like a war zone. You cannot have that. But America can destroy it in a different way.
What do you mean?
They can print a lot of money and then just all the way up
I think I'm going to head out. Hey, nice to meet you. My name is Vaibhav. Nice to meet you. Ben. Ben, yeah. Nice to meet you.
Do more research.
Yeah, it looks like.
I mean, that's the thing about a short.
Hopefully, I was
So
able to give you some
to
idea
have a short,
at the ground level.
someone needs to lend you the Bitcoin and then you
Yeah,
sell
I
it.
mean, it's a wide or
Yeah, but whatever it is out there,
Yeah, but if you understand the fundamentals, everything else can be built up very easily. But if somebody is just like, hey, you should go Coinbase and buy and DCA, and you're like, well, what am I buying? It's a little expensive. Start at the fundamentals and ask the questions and see if you understand it.
Well, I mean,
If you
this
can't
is what
understand it, then don't put your money in it because like you're just buying blind.
George
That's all
Soros
I'm
did
saying.
to the British pound, right?
Yeah, just have a good understanding, then you'll automatically buy it.
I'm not 100% sure on that one, but
this is
Check on the yacht, but check on the internet.
I'm sure it is.
we should
Yeah, legend.
It's backed by the U.S. military.
patience in this.
Hey, nice meeting you too, friend.
So
Take
yes,
care now.
If the United States government wanted to destroy Bitcoin, they could. It would cost an incredible amount of. They would be able to stop Americans from using it effectively. I mean, if they were to go and put a bullet in the head of everyone who owned Bitcoin or talks about Bitcoin, then yes, they could stop Americans from talking about Bitcoin. They also tried to make drugs illegal. Didn't work.
It's good. It's good.
What do you mean?
Cold War is bigger or America's bigger? If Cold War is bigger, dollar will be we care for power more than anything. Power and respect is big for us. That's how we are American.
Okay.
No one wants to lose it.
Okay.
Like people we use
I mean, yes, governments will fight Bitcoin because it's going to make it very difficult to. Well, yes and no. So here's the crazy part. So let's say you buy Bitcoin, and then the dollar hyperinflates. The way that taxes are set up in the United States, the government still gets 40% of everything. Maybe 20%. Let's say they can change the tax rate. So let's use your house as an example. So let's say you buy a house and for sake of argument, $100,000. And then the U.S. dollar appreciates to Zimbabwe levels.
Oh, wow.
See this?
Whoa, that's cool. Oh, no way.
And then you go and you try to sell your house. Okay, so you sell your house, and now it's worth $1 trillion. You made a $900 billion profit on your house. You did really well. You owe $200 million in taxes.
But I won't be able to
That is hilarious. Oh, my God.
It looks like a bigger money, but
The point I'm making is, even if the dollar, if they can print as much money as they want, and they do, they still can tax you and win.
Wow, that is smooth. I love the analogy. That was funny.
so how much is $1?
This is not worth anything right now.
Can we trillion dollar change. Is it cheap of the dollar? Is it real cheap of the dollar?
It's real money.
$10 trillion.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That's,
See, $10 trillion, not even $1. Why?
No one wants it. No one takes it. You can't buy anything with it. I mean, it's worth more as wallpaper.
I think that's hilarious. I've never seen that kind of thing before. Is that it? That's not real.
What's real?
Oh wow. Wow. They actually like transact.
You know what else is real?
I guess it's as real as you want it to be.
Our quantity increasing.
Hey, I guess it's as real as you want it to be.
This is real as well. How much do you think that's worth?
Is it Iranian?
Oh my God, no
Iranian
way.
dollar?
No. What would you say that's worth?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, is it an actual currency? I mean,
Yes.
yes. Wow. So, hang
Can we show them?
on. Okay, 500 rupees. There you go.
Zimbabwe dollar.
Oh wow.
Indian dollar.
500 rupees.
That's actually illegal right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
10 trillion.
Yeah.
Is this yours?
Oh, this is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. Wow.
So the Reserve Bank of India went through and basically said $500 and $1,000 bills are illegal.
Wow.
You have to turn them in.
NFT.
Wow.
They're issuing a $2,000 bill,
Or the gas.
2,000 rupee,
Serious. No kidding. Wow, man.
because there was so much corruption.
Wow, that's insane.
No. What's bigger than that?
What money? You can buy an NFT.
Not with this bill.
Probably.
So the 500 and the 1,000 rupee bills were made illegal
He's
because there was too much black money.
That's crazy. That is insane. Wow.
I
guess that's just how it goes.
Still we go to the text and you cannot just suffering.
Oh, man. Wow. That is insane. I guess that's just how it goes. Wow.
So yes, governments will always have the power to coerce their citizens.
Okay.
This game is complete citizen. Citizen, I get 10x, they get 1x.
They
Without
get,
doing anything.
exactly. The way the current U.S. law is set up. I mean, you could. I mean, there are fancy things you can do. Do you have an IRA? Have you heard of a Roth IRA? Have you heard of a Roth IRA?
Yep.
6,000 you get
Normal people. Yeah.
we don't know that.
Yes, I've heard of that. I don't completely understand it all the way, but I have.
So the idea with the Roth is you take after-tax dollars, you put it into this account, and then it can grow to infinity and never be taxed.
Wow. That's insane.
I trust capital. I trust capital, put money there and the buy Bitcoin with this money.
So what you can do is, I had a friend do this, 2014. He set up his own IRA, bought Bitcoin and Dogecoin and some other things with his IRA, and I mean, he can't use it until he's older, but he won't have to pay taxes on this. Peter Thiel actually did this. It was a big big scandal about this. He had like $5 billion that were not taxed in his IRA. So yes,
But do they take all kinds of coins? I know they have limited.
it has to be an asset.
No, but do they take all kinds of like you can buy Cardano coin and all those things?
I mean, you form your own corporation, and your corporation buys things. But the profits of the corporation,
Only $6,000
well, I mean,
for
$6,000 per year. If you work for a company that's maxed out at $19,500 per year. Yeah, I mean, it's designed to keep the little guy down. But if you know what you're doing.
that's why connection matters because those people who are close to chart subscription or individual gateway are also fortunate, right?
I don't know. I mean, I was having breakfast with Charles Hoskinson back in 2013. He is pushing another project at the time. He actually sent me the white paper of Cardano, gosh, years ago. I didn't have time to read it. It didn't really seem like a thing. Some other people who I know invested early on. I don't know what they're doing now.
He was getting because we care about the gains all the time, right? Before the all institution and the people come in, just now just scatter and just wild west, make as much money possible and wait for
it's hard to know what the future is. So what brings you to the meetup?
Oh, I was just interested in learning more.
Okay.
I don't really know much. I just want to increase my understanding, so I figured I would come to a meetup and try to increase my understanding that way. I like to read, but I realize reading will only get you so far. I mean, aside from actually speaking with someone, learning from someone else. That's why I'm here.
So what do you think you don't understand yet? What's a question in your mind? What's an objection that has been resonating with you?
Man, I wish I would have brought more questions. I should have brought my questions down, actually.
But he has to start.
What was I thinking? Okay, so, I mean, I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, I don't blame you. There's years of learning that can go into this.
Yeah, I know. It's there's like so much that goes into it, and I'm really fascinated by the whole thing, and I've been learning about it. Almost probably unhealthy, but I don't know, I'm just fascinated by it. I love to increase my understanding about it.
Are you a technical person?
Yeah, I like technology.
Okay.
The only thing about it, I guess I probably would use the proper resources, the proper learning resources, I suppose. Like I know there's good books and stuff that I've read, and I know like Bitcoin
I hear good things about the understanding Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know Bitcoin. I guess that's the best one. Bitcoin. That sounds really interesting. I mean, I guess as far as creation goes with programming, where do you start?
You got to start with a problem that people have.
Okay.
So I don't know. For me, the most interesting projects are the ones that solve societal problems.
Societal problems.
Money is a big societal problem.
Yeah.
I am not. I've not spent any effort on NFTs because it's not a societal problem that I recognize.
I see. Yeah, I know that's a big thing for art and a lot of other things too. It's pretty broadish. I guess a lot of that is with the creation. It's different.
I mean, Ethereum laid the groundwork for lots of other things to be built upon it.
Really.
I mean, that's kind of the point. And
It's kind of opened the gates for a lot of other things.
And so, financial products are being built on Ethereum.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah. I guess I'd.
I mean, one of the projects that I was working on was a thing to take land titles
Oh, really?
and to. There's a big problem down in Honduras where the everyone who owned land, it was all kept on these paper books in that were kept in basically City Hall downtown, the county hall downtown, and they weren't really guarded really all that well either. I mean, someone in the capital city could walk right in and like pull a book off the shelf and walk off with it, and all those records would be gone. And there were these scandals going around where like people were selling other people's land because they were able to doctor the records.
Yeah, that's insane.
So what the project was working on was taking these books and trying to basically lock them in amber, record them.
I see.
So that in the future, if anyone were to go and tamper with them,
Yes.
that they wouldn't be able to because it would be protected by cryptography and thermodynamics. And so if some bureaucrat would go in and tamper with some records, they wouldn't be able to delete the purchase history of someone else.
So it's still there.
There would still be electronic copies that are just as authentic and just as reliable as the originals. I'm a computer person. The mortgage industry in the U.S., I think it's the number 4 company for originating or for buying loans. 100% paper. They do not trust computers.
I guess I don't blame them.
I'm a computer person. I do not trust computers. There is far too much to go wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
What blockchains do is they allow you to take data and then distribute fingerprints of it and use cryptography to authenticate those fingerprints such that it doesn't matter where copies came from. Mexican drug lords can hold copies of your property records. And you would not need to trust them at all, because if the digital copies of the documents that they provide match those hashes, match those signatures that were put in the blockchain years ago, then you know that those digital copies are authentic and true. So that provides lots of value for humanity.
I love the way you explain that.
So the blockchains allow. What was the term? Moving from systems of. Here's the whole speech I gave. Systems of record to systems of authority. So the county courthouse, that's a system of record. That's a system that they keep the records in books or computer form. So the DMV.
Yeah.
They determine who owns what car, but they also keep a record of who owns what car. Blockchains allow you to split up the keeping of the records from the determining an authentic change in the title.
Wow. No kidding.
So let's say the car was an NFT, something like that.
I love the analogy. That's hilarious.
I mean, the ownership of the vehicle
Yep.
would be represented
Yep.
by a digital certificate attesting to its ownership. And so let's say that DMV needs to co-sign on the transfer of that NFT.
All right. Awesome.
I mean, they currently do this. They agree to issue a new title to a new person as long as all the taxes are paid and everything else.
Wow.
And you pay the right fee. I mean, they just also have the database themselves. So if all they're doing is the useful thing that they're doing is they're attesting to that transfer.
I see.
So in the future, the DMV database can be held on Mexican drug lord computers, and it wouldn't matter because the DMV would be signing that transfer, and there would be copies all over the place.
That's hilarious, man. Oh my god.
So now, when the DMV has a hack in their system,
Yeah.
I mean, they can't change the past. They can't erase your ownership of that car.
Wow.
People with guns can still come and take your car and go to the DMV and say, yes, new person is now this government agency is now the rightful owner of your vehicle. They're allowed to do whatever they want with it.
Oh, no shit.
I mean, just in theory.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, securing things in the physical world still comes down to using guns.
I guess the old ways.
But separating out institutions from authority, record keeping from authority, is one of the things that will happen in a blockchain future. Ideally. So yes. One of the things my startup was doing was working on customs documentation.
Okay.
Have you ever delved into the import-export world?
No, not very knowledgeable.
I did all kinds of training with that in one of my old businesses, and Customs and Border Patrol does not trust your computer system.
Yeah, of course they don't.
When you import something into the country,
Yeah.
you need to keep paper forms in triplicate in the locked filing cabinet in your warehouse
Oh man.
for 7 years
Wow.
so that they can come and inspect your records.
What?
Because they don't trust your computer systems to be accurate.
Okay.
So you may do a complete inventory management system
Yeah.
of all your imports.
Yeah.
You still got to print something out and put it in a filing cabinet
Okay. So you have to hang on to the records.
on a dot matrix printer that prints in triplicate.
Wow. I see. So you would have to keep the paper records. Literally.
So they are right not to trust computers because computers have lots of problems.
Glitches and shit like that. All that. Yeah, no, we didn't have to go down that. I see what you mean.
So what Customs and Border Patrol is trying to do is use these blockchain companies to build up these systems to make it so that digital identity documents were there to manage import-export documentation such that in the future you would not need to keep these paper documents
Right.
for more than half a decade because the digital documents are protected by the blockchain
Yeah, I see.
and the digital records are there
Yeah, yeah.
and they're protected thermodynamically. So, yes, there are lots of ways that blockchains are going to solve problems in the world. And these are just two.
That's impressive. I'm impressed. I really love the way you just explained all that.
Why not?
So, as far as the imports and exports go, the 7-year thing, I mean, do you really have to hang on to those all the time, or does that ever end, or eventually do these documents go
I mean,
digital?
they may change the law,
Well, yeah, I guess so.
but I mean,
Or maybe I guess.
businesses have to maintain records all the time. It's just a cost of doing business.
I see. Well, I guess it's just a process then.
So yeah, the world is held together with bubblegum and sticky tape. And blockchains are going to try and make that a little bit less finicky.
Okay, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. I hate to admit it, that makes a lot of sense. I hate to admit it. Yeah.
Yes. Because I can make horses
I mean,
so I guess
Yeah, I don't know what the world's going to look like
yeah, I know, it's crazy.
in the future.
Yeah, I know. It's quite exciting, I guess.
secondary transaction. So I guess I'll
So what industry are you in?
I recently started a company. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of trying to figure it out. I'm really struggling.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just trying to figure things out.
Is there an industry that you're targeting?
Technology. Oh, I mean,
Pretty broad.
yeah, it's very broad. I mean, I guess are you referring to like a target audience in particular, or I guess you said a certain industry. I was thinking technology and finance, possibly.
Finance, okay.
Or maybe Well, my company, I really just want to design websites and create websites for other companies. So it could be very broad, I guess. So I'm really having a hard time figuring out how to start. What to start with. Yeah, I got a business idea going and stuff, but I'm not really sure where to go next.
It's a tough business, yeah. It's pretty competitive and
Very competitive. I see a lot of people are really good at designing and stuff, creating websites and everything. I don't fully understand it quite yet. I'm just peeking my head in and just like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know what I got myself into. It seems like it's a lot to learn.
you could go as deep as you wanted.
Yeah, I see. So I guess you can really start from wherever you want, huh?
What do you mean?
You pick up, as far as creation of websites for people in need of it, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know how I would do it. And I'd probably go to local businesses and like small businesses who have terrible websites and
So I guess they have to find the
For them
problem.
help.
Yeah, find the problem if they're having one, I suppose. I figure out how to find them.
it feels like you gotta hustle.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
And it's so easy to make a website nowadays. You go on
Yeah, I know, right?
Wix or something like that. And you
Yeah,
just
like no
spin
one's
one up and
no one's coding anymore. They should success as much. Like I'm like, there's all this other new stuff that's coming. I'm like, well, I mean, so there's this, and then there's that, and then there's that. I'm like, well, I mean, which one's the best way to go? I mean, I got all these different languages, and then you got, all these different fields in technology, and you can utilize these for websites. And I'm just like, I mean, where do I even go with this? I don't even know.
I mean, if you can write software, then there's tons of demand out there.
Yeah, I see. So I guess just programming in general is probably the best way to continue.
Are you an artsy kind of guy?
Well, I'm somewhat creative, but I do like technology a lot, though. I've been interested in that ever since I was remember. So it's always been something I've been into.
Yeah, front end development seems like the kind of thing
Yeah.
that really people with an aesthetic eye combined with a technological understanding can really deliver a lot of value in front-end development.
Okay.
But that's the thing I've stayed away from as far as I can because it's just too icky.
Oh, really? I mean, I guess the creative part is like a double-edged sword, because you're looking at it, you're like, do I really like this, or how much do I like it? And you're like, wait, let me look at that again. And you're like, maybe not. I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. I guess the front end. That's interesting. And I guess the clients probably have their own perspectives too, what they want and what they expect. Huh? And then they have their own eye, and then they'll be like, yeah, no, that's not right. It's
All right, it's probably time you got a different perspective from some of these other people. I gotta go run to the next gym. I'll be right back. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian? I'm Brian.
Oh, what? No way, bro. Nice to meet you, Brian. Great speaking with you.
So people are trying to read about what's the problem? Like there's a advertising of very Hey, is it yours?
No, that was right there. Did someone leave their phone?
They'll probably come for it.
Yeah, they'll probably come back for it.
Alright, so is the racing and renting, is that's
Hey, it was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you, man.
Thanks for explaining that. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
See you next time. Like whatever. What's with the racing thing? I'm a rich man. Hey, what's up? Ben? Bill. Just jump in. Let's go. So what's going on? What are you into?
I'm into the Bitcoin.
The Bitcoins?
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, still need a crypto. I've been in it for a few years. But again, like I bought some Bitcoin a while back.
Yeah.
What do you do on chain?
What do you do on chain? On chain? Like, what do you do with your Bitcoin?
What do I do with them? I just like sit there.
What about your Ethereum?
Man, I just buy. I started using Robinhood to be honest, because I know it's not like a wallet.
It's not a wallet. It's not
But
even
they don't have
Bitcoin.
fees, and I'm just more like investing to cash. So I feel like
It's not even Bitcoin.
I know it's just like, but it matches the value. I can buy and sell it without fees. I feel like I'm just mostly putting it in my money. You know,
Smart. How
How
are you making income?
like so I bought some in 2020 or so, and they went up a lot.
That's not income. That's appreciation.
Yeah, but then I sold it went up like 40% or so. I made 40%.
Yeah, that's it.
But it went up 50%. After that, I was like, now it's crashing again. I bought more. Like maybe it'll go up. I don't have an enormous amount of money in there. I have about 15 grand in it. So
That's good.
it's enough to make some money on the side. Learn about it. Part of it is just, I want to do it. I mean, most of my money's in the stock market. And I also want some alternative investments.
No, that's hype.
What about you?
I made
Bitcoin
NFTs. I sell JPEGs.
You sell it.
Yeah, I'm a JPEG dealer.
Are you
I
like,
split JPEGs.
are you crazy?
I split JPEGs. That's it.
Good business?
Worked out for me. I'm just trying to learn about it more, so that's the area that I'm focusing mostly now. I'm trying to learn more about the play behind the game, so I'm diving into that a little bit. So it's cool.
What do you do outside of working or
I don't need to work.
making up for benefit stuff?
I'm okay. So yeah. So it's been good. I enjoy coming up here. Talked to a lot of smart people here. Gary and Yuri. I know them for a while now. So it's mostly for the community. So it's good to be a part of that. But yeah, it's good, man. I'm happy to spend a place like this. And have the option.
I can sit down and learn from like a YouTube video or read something. I feel like connection
It's more important.
more impactful. Yeah.
I agree. And you're right, you're in the right place. Like, this is one of the older ones, and Leon has been doing this for a while. Like, he's,
Have you been in like NFT for a while? Like,
I just started, like, NFT is the beginning of this stuff.
oh, really? Actually, like, before that, but they weren't really talking.
Yeah. So I've been only for like a couple months.
It's not clear for me.
Just learning about it a lot now. That's where I stand most of my time. Well, all the other stuff is cool too, but I'm not really in Fungibles right now because the macro's not looking good, so I just move over to NFTs and do that.
Whatever works.
But yeah, so what else are you trying to like expand into?
Kind of like get into real estate.
Oh really?
I mean, crypto's good, but I feel like real estate more stable long term.
Someone that woman over there, Shama, but she's a big real estate agent. So I don't really know that's what. Definitely go say hi to her. For sure, but she knows her shit. She knows how to trade stocks. Like, yeah, she sells sites, not like.
She's like a big
15 grand is not good. So you should definitely go say hi to her. She's big on real estate too, so she shares some of the same philosophies as they believe in real estate. She'll have some exposure to cryptocurrency, she'll have some passive income on the side. So that's the right person to go say hi to. Be like, hey, Ben told me that I should go talk to you. So definitely go introduce yourself to her. She doesn't come to many events. Like, this is only the second event I saw her like 2 months ago. So
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go.
go say hi to her.
Alright, thanks, man.
I think that's a cool thing. It like eliminates a lot of those
Fire lane. But nobody knows if you have a plan or not. Right? So the rankings are operate all the data.
Yeah, and so it's serious about how rare it is.
That's a website.
Yeah, but like, how rare is it?
But the price. Some people have ridiculous, some people it's not really right? That one don't feel right? Or you just scroll down and you're like, shit. If you were scrolling within the first 10 seconds of the video, because people have to update their prices or not, right? Or viewers their prices or whatever. So there's an option where you can buy now and buy. And so it's very immediately that shows you the rate and the buy, and you can reset your gas line. So you just hit buy and then you don't have to do anything bullshit. Literally, it's like most of the contract on my way. So that dude woke up there one-on-one, he saw the price, and realized that actually it's literally simple, but actually the rarest part you can get is
So it's almost like sitting
no, it's just like, it just shows you the rankings immediately. And it will show you like a red and green, like this is rare, this is rare.
it has different stats. Basically, if you're the price of this thing is like, alright, rare.
No, you don't have to manually buy it. It'll just tell you the yeah, it will, instead of like looking at all the pictures, you just look for the red or the green or the yellow. And then you just see it green. You just automatically, you don't have to judge if it's good or not.
You can't set the criteria and have it automatic.
Because it will be hard, because you might not know what I'm started working on this
Where you're like the one top
that could be like so one of this is just floor, one week, but then like one of this might not be one level like right? Type all the materials.
how much is it cost?
Let's give you a difference. So you can just get the box itself for 1.5 each. But the other box is a flat box. It's not the contract with the contract. Your gas for the priority. Set like how many tokens you want to do. And this target is just pointing to the contract. You will keep refreshing. Like sure, goes over 4 or 5. Just like you can just back off from the mid on the public trail. Because the robot is just like door open, go and find. Immediately when you're in the first block. Immediately put you in the first text line. So that one requires you to burn a key, the burning so for use of that light box, they can't afford it.
So I guess you need to see track or just add that to the cost.
So you can use that to get or you can buy one of those early that still can use off the box. So I was like, but that group has an alpha group, super active devs. The chat moves very slowly. They have an alpha group that is for people who are looking for these stuff.
What about the 1.5? You can buy that one?
For the release, I'm not like at that level where I'm secondary in terms of the utility of so like I'm not at the level where I have enough liquidity to pull some games out. But it's also like, yeah, I need to put some games out. I'm not going to pull this now. It actually takes like a whole night.
So maybe you'll have one of those storage right at the year, like 10 to 500 each.
If each goes you just want to have a conditional good liquidity because I know half of my liquidity that I want to do that and they're fighting to have a fucking
Horse racing thing's pretty common.
check it out the Nazi. It's still early because the Nazi game is not but the horse is playing automatic. Watch a couple of videos. Like, you want to follow the rules. It's a little bit of work.
I don't want to do it, but I want to do it. But you know what I'm saying? You're effectively just creating like
There's a structure in the called the solar. Where you basically control the control of the horses and something else. And they do all this food and race and
so like imagine if you had Ben's horse racing company. Then I want to buy like
you want to go and still get my dollar. You could, and I think there are deals which have like if you want to go to that $500
I don't want prefer too easy. I don't have to do it.
No, that's where you're gonna make the most. I love the last deal. That's where you will get the most.
Better if I had
Like thousands. You'll make more money yourself. Once you have this tool, honestly, the thing is, usually it's way no more than people come here and they want to buy the board, they want to buy the wrist phone.
but I think like if somebody actually rents it, that's actually
Yeah, the people and right now it's the key thing. Their list of that or whatever, you would have to like user interaction with the probabilities, you don't get to like do that. Like, we're not going to do that yet. Right now they're working on the video. It's data. I saw the play. The video looks really good. Well, so I logged into work this morning, sharing the video tomorrow is my 24-hour competition. I'm putting my baby out for rent. I'm not going to do it. And then race it. So I get my whatever I get. So then whatever I get, I'm going to pay if I get it on an email, then I can sell the horse.
and so you'll have females over it.
No, you don't see it, but whenever you have a balance, you just sell one. You get
It sounds like a juicy concept.
It is honestly, like, we're not like,
If you're actually renting it out, that's all so whatever they do after they rent it, that part of it is fun. Your part is what you rent the horse.
So many reasons why I love like the NFTs. I'm just like there's so much cool art coming through. I think I did like I don't know $600 million worth of people they bring false art to like art collectors and they don't know how to authenticate it, you know, and that's why I love this like so it's a big even with like the sculpture and stuff like that. I love it. I love art. I'm always like looking at art. Oh. I just love visual things.
I should have gotten into NFTs back last January because I was in this clubhouse room and there's some artists.
Should I get off Clubhouse?
I mean, you can. I still have it.
I still have it too.
I just never get it. I mean,
I was on it all the time, and then I just stopped. Because I just got like
every now and then I jump into there, but I'm mostly on Twitter Space. But there was an artist in there. He had burnt fantasy in there. Not the real Banksy.
Oh, not the real Banksy?
Bart Banksy. Some other guy. But they're talking about NFTs, and he said it right. Like an artist, when he sells art to someone, that's it. That's all the money he gets. If that artist, that guy sells it to someone else, he doesn't get a cut of that.
Almost like an NFT on it with a royalty attached to it, right?
Yeah. 5% royalties for the rest of their
Maybe
life.
some type of some celebrity's signature. NFT that, and then that celebrity would get the royalty on it. That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm brand new to this.
Yeah, no, every time an NFT is resold, 5% or whatever number that's set in that smart contract goes back to that creator's wallet for the rest of time. Because as long as Ethereum was around,
because the creator he created the NFT, so he sold to other people on the market, right?
Yeah. So
everything just go back to his bank account.
Well, the royalty. So when he first makes a sale, he gets 100% of that, right?
Yeah.
But then every time it gets resold, there's a royalty cut.
Yeah.
So the rest of the time, like he passes that.
Could you define the meaning of royalty? Like
a 5% cut. So if I sell a chill shot for $100 or 100 Solana, 5 Solana will come back to me.
Every time you resell it, like every time you resell it, this artist would get money from that sale. So like right now, right? If I make something and you buy my art, I'm done. I'm done with this art. And so now if you want to resell it to this gentleman over here, I wouldn't get anything from what you're saying. A royalty is that if you sell it and you want to sell it, I'm going to get a cut of that. So
all the way down the line, as long as it exists.
It's like a multi-level marketing.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just joking, dude.
You know what it is? It's like
the
when
scheme.
you sell, you know what it is? Like when you sell insurance, insurance policy, whoever like sells you the insurance, if you renew it, that person gets the royalty from it.
You're joking, right?
Yeah.
Royalties?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know what it is.
So, do you actually know like the developers in that space, or what's your take on game developers?
I don't know any games. Chill Chat, but they're developing a game creator, right? I know those guys, but I know some Solana developers. I know people. Yeah, if you have a collection and what you want to sell, you go to these guys. They take 50%, and then 50 to 20%, and then launch your project. But you have to have a team, right? Like you can't just like. They're 15-year-olds that sell their art out, right? But they had support. You have to have a marketing person, developer, Discord manager and moderator, social media guys. Like it's a big deal, right? So you need a lot of money to pay all these people, or you promise them here 5% here, 2% there, 10% here. They're all like mini startups.
They already have to work with core team.
Wait, what?
The company that you invested in, where they already have money with the whole core team.
No, they had. I don't know. So some of the people he was paying money, some he promised them a percentage. Yeah, that's what it was.
We're just bombarding you with questions. Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley, which has kind of disseminated, right?
Yeah.
So where do you go now as an angel to find talent that is really smart? Like, where are you going? I'm gonna. Okay.
They're in Miami, right?
Yeah, Miami.
They're all in Miami.
Well, I go wherever they go, right? So,
So are you going to Miami?
yeah, there was a hacker house in Miami. Yeah. There was a hacker house in Miami. But then the hacker house, it moves around.
So it wasn't like it was in San Francisco, and now it's not in San Francisco. There was a little little bit in New York, but it never kind of materialized. Now you said it's in Miami.
Well, yeah, there's developers in Miami, but also there's this house thing that's moving around. It's moving to different city. So it was in Chicago a couple weeks ago. I was just in Chicago. I went up there to meet some people, and then now it's in LA next week. I'm not going. I'm not traveling next month, but in March I'm going to LA because there's an NFT thing in LA, and then in April it's going to be back in Miami.
So it's not like a Silicon Valley, like a certain location anymore. It's more like, it's moving.
Well, this specific thing, because it's just a lot of startups. That's all I care about. But no, Austin, Texas. I mean, there's startups here in Dallas. There's startups in Dallas, and there's startups in Austin. Well, those are your traditional tech startups, right? I'm not doing anything for equity right now, because the equity deal, you lock up your money for 7 to 10 years. Like crypto deals, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 years, so it's a lot quicker. An NFT project, I'm getting my money back in a few months, so it's like,
Just one question. Wash sale groups.
Okay.
Are they in this year or next year?
It's supposed to be this year. But honestly, I haven't paid attention, man. I don't care. I have no idea. Watch sale room. I've been paying attention to only NFTs.
I know. NFTs is a different ballgame.
Yeah, but
few of us, I mean, supposing I bought some coins, right? Because I'm talking from the coin perspective. I need to go and check if some of them are below the water, right? If they are, and the wash sale is allowed, then I'll just go and but you're not sure whether wash sale is.
No. I'm just Googling. Yeah. Like, I have no idea. Let's do it right now. Wash sale.
I did. No news about whether this year you can still do the wash sale or not is coming up. All are talking about either some.
You can still do it now until the law's out.
No, but I think last year they were doing the law. They wanted to be retroactive from April.
Retroactive. Oh, okay.
Which is a strange. You should never have a retroactive rule. I can understand in some kind of a less free country, but in the US having a retroactive rule is stunning to me that they have a retroactive. Even if it is by a few months, because that's a mistake.
No, it's so stupid because they're trying to find extra money. It's like, I don't know. The dollar is declining, by the way. So, like, everyone here, enjoy the next decade. They have an exit plan. Like, I'm thinking Singapore or Thailand. It's like things are bad. We're at 2 books I recommend.
Well, you have to have dual citizenship.
Huh?
You have to have dual citizenship, huh?
Most likely.
Yes.
Or just get like permanent residency or something like that, right? Like, I mean, you could be an expat in like, a lot of places. I think Singapore will be good. I mean, Hong Kong is a big expat pattern there, but if you want to stay out of the Lucidity's trap issue, that could be a thing. I wouldn't stay in Hong Kong, but like.
What about Europe?
Europe, Malta, but the internet sucks. But like, Portugal, yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Portugal, Switzerland.
Switzerland's big.
Switzerland is a crypto capital.
I know, but it's crafty. I don't know. So what were the books you said you were going to recommend to us?
Ray Dalio's Principles? No, I read Principles, but like, honestly, I didn't reread that because like, this book was here. Principles for the world-changing order, basically.
Changing world. This is
The changing world order. Ray Dalio.
What's
Right.
number 2?
Number 2. So this.
hold on, let me take a picture of that.
I want to read this again. Are we listening to it? I want to actually. I need to do the thing where I'm reading and listening at the same time. Apparently, you retain faster.
And you write it.
And you, oh my god! Oh my god! That's like that.
Sometimes it's cool.
Oh, okay.
That's way too
Tap it
much.
out with your toes in Braille.
Kill Chain. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill Chain. Written by military. a U.S. General. I don't know, Admiral
Oh,
or General.
hold on.
Yeah.
That sounds so exciting.
Oh, this book is so good. Both these books.
That sounds like it should be a
Is it about the world order or something? The kill chain? What's it about?
Was this all about exit strategy?
No. So the kill chain, he's basically it's basically the decisions that get made from information to like some action that needs to be taken to kill something, right? He talks about how the U.S. kill chain, there's so much access, and it's not efficient. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. We're spending all this money on buying big things like carriers and tanks and stuff like that, which are, I mean, they're good, but not for like the next kind of modern war, where like you're gonna have a carrier that's taken out by thousands of drones, right? It's an outdated like thing. But anyways, but the premise basically. Let me start with Ray Dalio. So basically, we're at the end of a long-term debt cycle. And by the way, like just starting with Bitcoin, like I wasn't a finance person at all, but because of learning about Bitcoin, I learned about trading, investing, swing trading, macro, long-term debt cycles, like how hedge funds think, like all because of Bitcoin. But anyways, we're at the end of a long-term debt cycle, which happens at the end of every single end of empire, basically. Because what happens to empire, you know.
Oh, this is scary, guys.
Well, the benefit though is like.
Empire Strikes Back again.
Well, it gets better as we. The future is always better than the past, right? Like, yeah, World War II was pretty nasty. Which was actually, I guess, but then World War I was pretty nasty too. But more people died in World War II. But then, like, you go back in time. Wait, let's not use that analogy. But the decline of the British Empire was like, Britain's still around. Right? They're still doing well. I mean, you would live in Britain, right? So, like the thing with America is like the peak of the American Empire was like 1950 because it had the most dollars. The entire world was destroyed. It was just America, right? So that was the peak. And the dollar, was worth so much. Now, because of the monetary fiat policy, right? We got off of gold. And there were some good reasons why we got off gold, but because we got off gold, it's going to end in overinflation or I don't want to use hyperinflation, but the more and more the dollars get printed, eventually the base currency gets worthless. I mean, there's things you can do to kind of slow that process, right? Like it can go on for years. It won't be like a Venezuela.
Everything was based on the dollar, right?
Yeah.
Now it's not like that. It's like Russia and China are using the digital to kind of they're going to figure out. So people are getting away from the dollar as being like the central currency.
Yeah, and that would be very bad for America.
So
that's why we killed 1 million people.
Is that why you say we need to go to like Singapore or Portugal?
Yeah. My strategy is right now I'm trading a lot of altcoins and stuff like that. Eventually, I do want to go back to Bitcoin, so I can carry that wherever I want to. Yeah.
So you're getting money out of the dollar, like the US dollar.
Yeah, and then wherever I'm at, most likely in the future, 10, 20 years from now, will be very Web3. Very, I can use mobile app to pay for whatever I want. I can take Bitcoin, I can convert it to some stable coin. I can use that to pay my bills.
Yeah, all digital.
Yeah, all that. But anyways, like the purpose of the book is we're at there's 6 stages. I should go back and read them all, but like we're in the 5th one. The 6th one is like revolution and war, or like chaos, right? But the 5th one is in like lots of debt, lots of internal turmoil. Internal turmoil, people fighting each other, that happens. The currency getting weaker. I mean, it's happening with the British, happening with the Romans, happening with every single Chinese dynasty in the past. Yeah.
This is the killer one, right?
That was the Ray Dalio book, The Changing World Order. Kill Chain. I just love military history and stuff like that. But basically, the premise is the U.S. cannot beat China in a war. Like, it's especially where the war would be with Taiwan and the Pacific. They would not win. One, they wouldn't even fight it because like the Americans aren't going to say, yeah, let's go fight China. No, they would like let Taiwan go, right? But that's the premise, and it's only going to get worse from here. Like the Chinese are so much more efficient in spending their money because they literally tell them you're going to do this. In America, like the way the money moves, because of our democracy, how it moves, it's very inefficient, and there's a lot of give me extra money for this kind of thing, and they're just buying extra stuff like they don't need. It's not efficient, right? It's not an efficient kill chain. So. Yeah, we should be investing much more in cyber warfare, in satellite warfare, in drone technology, because the next war should be robots on robots. Like you're gonna see thousands and thousands of drones coming out of submerged, like tiny little things underwater. Like that's the future war, not these ancient giant like carriers.
Like Dubai and like and stuff like that, like robotics. You think that's where the next like intelligence is going to come from? Because I don't think the intelligence is here anymore.
I don't know so many drones.
No, it is, but because of how the military spending got politicized, right? Like all that technology, like there was no profit in military tech. So they all went. We have like the best Facebook, the best Uber, like all the commercial retail technology is badass here, right?
But that's what we're known for, is the marketing.
Yeah, social media, that stuff. But in terms of military, no, it's like their stuff, like it's all hardware based. It's not software based. So like you spend $30 million on a fighter.
To add to that, right? So Google AI cannot be used in US military, but Google AI has been actively involved with Chinese military to develop their AI.
Google AI?
Because here the people started protesting. No, people started protesting. People started protesting and saying you can't be involved with them. Even why you're talking about even CRM, like customer relationship management, sales software. Salesforce was CEO was openly asked when he was doing this thing, why are you involved with US drug enforcement and border patrol and all that?
Social kick.
Not just that. Even Google was told not to, forced not to.
By politics. So that's part of it too. Like I think they cover a little bit about that. It's like because of our political system, it's just hard because the software cycle in the military is like 10-year software cycle. Here, every 6 months you get an update, right? So like in the consumer world, retail world is improving fast. The military world is stagnant. It's not like that in China. So both from a monetary perspective and a military perspective, it's just saying that I think the most likely outcome is no war, because you don't want to have a war with a peer competitor. Although there is a Thucydides trap, meaning every time there's a current power and you have a rising power, so you had Athens, right? So you had Sparta, power. You had rising power, Athens. And they could have worked it out. But no, it ended in war. You had Germany and Britain, Yeah, there's kind of like
There's three things that always destroy everything: ego, power, and money. In everything, business, politics, everything. Those three things are the human traps.
There's actually a few times in history where the Thucydides trap was avoided. But I don't even know what they were.
It was only with Britain. Basically, it was both the times with Britain.
Britain and the Dutch, right?
Britain and the Dutch, and Britain and USA. See, Britain was a superpower. Who took over from Britain? USA.
Oh, you want post World War II?
Yeah. So it was a reasonably peaceful transition. Britain tried. Then the Suez Canal was the one when the US had nothing doing. And that's when the reality of the superpower gone.
Well, yeah, the British realized that there was no way they could not win a war.
Because USA said like nothing doing about the Suez Canal.
Yeah, that was like, let me see.
57.
What? 57, yeah. So after World War II, like, all these countries, all the colonies became free, right? So the Egyptians were like, hey, we want our rights on the Suez Canal back. So the British and French invaded They're like, no, we didn't think. But then America was like, hey, don't do that. So then Britain was like, oh shit, we gotta not do that. So it's just like, wow, they realized like who's like the world power now. Yeah.
Wow, guys, that was amazing.
Sorry, I love history.
What do you think about Ukraine? Ukraine, what do you think? Is it worth it?
No. Like,
It's not worth it, right?
I think it's just a lot of noise.
What, the UK?
Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine against Russia.
Yeah, I think it's not worth it. I personally think it's all.
No, worth it. So, like, basically, so there's a red line with Russia. Like, Russia doesn't want to be surrounded by NATO. So that's why their red line is Ukraine does not join NATO.
They're blaming like the U.S.
Yeah. And they annexed Crimea, which is shitty. But as a military, if I put on my military hat, it was like a must. Like if I was a Russian military guy, you have to, because that's the only warm water port. Otherwise, you can't use your navy in the winter. Like you can't be a world power. You can't use your navy in the winter. So
But here's the best part. The Ukrainian Prime Minister says like, hey, there's guys in the West, please cool down. Ukrainian president is saying that, guys, you cool down. We don't have that much of tension. Why is he saying that? The Ukrainian president is saying that there's no big tension with the Russia. Don't try to. He's saying the West is trying to boil it up. Cool down.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's some political angle. I don't know why, but that's in the news a lot lately. Ukraine. It's like.
Yeah. BBC News. There's a great podcast on BBC News. Just listen to that. That could be great. They can tell you all about NATO. So on Spotify.
BBC was good once upon a time.
You don't think it's good?
No.
What do you think is good? Like,
We just covered so many topics, man.
Yeah.
So are you new to crypto?
Pretty new, yeah. I mean, I am invested in Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I'm using exchange like Voyager.
you guys,
And,
this has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, we're following Twitter, and then every other week or...
Yeah, every other week. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. It's really nice meeting everybody. I'll see you next week or the weekend. Okay.
The part like USDT more than USDT. What do you think about it?
I ignore that. Nothing's gonna happen. They always try to fund USDT, and nothing's gonna happen. It's the most used currency in Asia, like USDT. Nothing's gonna happen.
Something would happen in the crash, 50% crash recently. Something should have happened. Nothing happened, right? Like we had a 50% crash in December, right?
Yeah, but that was just macro people moving. That's big money moving out into like stable stuff, like real estate. That's just an interest rate move, right? And that's not people selling because anything.
Nothing happened to USDT, I mean.
No, nothing happened to USDT. Yeah.
So USDC is safer or USDT?
Oh, USDC, okay.
I use USDC more because the stuff I interact with uses USDC. I have no reason to use USDC.
So USDT
is based in USA, so more regulated.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
Or even a couple of other things, right, like tax or something. I think there's a couple of them. That also has not registered also. I think there's one more, Paxos or something.
That's the gold
Dai or something. No. I think like there's a stable coin. There's one or two which is heavily regulated. USDC is being more famous.
Yeah, USDC. By the way, I just learned a way to get 19% on USDT, UST. UST. Luna. I get in a DeFi way. I can earn 19% on a stable coin. So I'm gonna start using that. I'll post a video in the meetup group. There's a video how to earn like 20% on UST. But there's a few steps. You got to do like a lot of steps. But I mean 20%.
You're gonna lose quite a few people when you say, as soon as you said there's going to be a few steps.
Oh yeah.
20% is the compounded interest, right? Everybody has a dollar rate.
Well, 20% APY, APR.
But are you into the X?
No.
X is the largest return in the universe.
Largest what?
Largest return of investment.
That Richard Hart guy.
Yeah, I avoid that.
Oh man.
I stay with. I just don't like that guy.
Richard.
But he's the one who made up, right?
I don't know you can beat him.
$100 invested 1 year, 2 years ago, it's now $10 million.
I don't know.
I'm staying away. I don't touch that. I don't touch
Go back and got the 10 million now. Please give all of us a party.
Because you cannot take it out.
You can't take it out. Then what's the
It's
fun?
like a CD. It's a Bitcoin.
Oh,
It's
look
like
at
a
that.
CD.
CD.
It's a CD.
That's the guy I was talking about. The Richard Love.
Richard Hart. Yeah.
That's who she's talking about.
Yeah, Hex coin.
Yeah.
So I cut that guy. Anyways, if you've known the Bitcoin to be like.
I just started reading about him and watching some of his interviews, and he's not very forthcoming.
No. Very slimy.
Very slimy.
Yeah.
That's how scams start.
So I don't touch Hex at all.
That's how scams start.
Yeah, stay away from that guy. Like, don't buy
Give us
Hex.
$100, why you want to give it?
Just buy freaking like.
That's a good idea for a scam. Just $100. After your 60 years, you will get $1 million. But until then, it's locked. And then between you and me,
Buy Bitcoin. It's $100 in 5 years.
and then between the few of us will trade. And one day it'll go 1 million, next day it'll go 1.1 million, and then we'll keep it at that because we are trading between friends, right?
I was saying that investment is outperform anything in the universe.
Yeah, but it's a very manipulated performance.
I can take Bitcoin code. You can too, or he can, definitely he can. He's pretty good coding and all that. He can make a 4 Bitcoin, real Bitcoin thing. He can call it like IRA coin, like retirement coin. And then between me and him, we can exchange at $1 million or $1 billion for a few days. And then people who put $100 will say like, oh, it rose from 1 cent to $1 billion. No sense at all. Makes no sense.
Yeah, but right now,
So essentially, they're right.
10 years, he will be sitting in Singapore or somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's his project.
Okay, so that makes sense.
What do I get?
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to own anything that guy does. Like, nothing. He was a Bitcoin guy. He was a Bitcoin guy forever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the guy.
We should start such a coin, I'm telling you. Retirement
No,
coin.
it's not starting a coin. No, dude.
There's a lot of people.
No, because like. I would not start a coin because no.
Just joking. You know me, right? Like, I barely go out of Coinbase. I tried going into Polygon or something. I still have that trouble ticket, like in my email. I can show you. And then I ran back to Coinbase and said like, I'm not going to go do all that. That's why I said you're going to lose me. See here. Here's my ticket. Last September, you're telling me to go into Polygon, right? So that you can save on fees. Along the way, when I was trying to go to Polygon through MetaMask and all, I lost my ETH. And then I panicked and then I put in a ticket. I got it back after 15-20 days.
Yeah.
But you know what? I said like, I'm like, okay.
Why were you trying to go to Polygon? Were you trying to buy an NFT?
Yeah.
Dude, just buy an ETH NFT. Pay the $100 in gas, man. Go Solana. Just go Solana.
I don't have that kind of a cash that I'll buy a $10,000 and then I don't care about $100. I was just trying to experiment because NFT is frankly not for me. I don't buy baseball cards. Okay, I'm not into that. Okay, I'm not a big fan of any cricketer or sports person or something that I go and buy their merchandise. Never in my life. So it doesn't appeal to me. I just don't get it. I was just trying to play around.
That's fine. You'll feel in the frog picture that it goes up 100%.
I won't be able to figure out why it went up.
It's just all culture. It's all culture.
Right.
You should tell your kids about NFTs.
My kid told me about Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, follow the dark money, right?
Yeah. I'm
into
Oh, by the way.
I'm into crypto because my kid told me about.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad. Like Chris Camilla, you watch dumbmoney.tv? What is it? Dumbmoney.tv. So I used to work with those guys, Dumb money. It's a stock trading thing.
Oh, I thought
but the
maybe
guy,
a domain or something.
there's about investing. The main guy, he got so big in NFTs, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's got so much money in NFTs. But yeah, he did a call with me the other day. It's like, dude, like the NFT space is going to be so much bigger, so much professionalized next year. Like insane. So I'm just super bullish on NFTs. There's so much growth.
Yeah.
And so what's the easiest trade, right? The easiest trade to get exposure to NFTs is buy Ethereum, buy Solana.
And then how do you, so you have Solana or Ethereum in your wallet or in your exchange, and then how do you
My wallet.
you just connect to the MetaMask wallet?
Well, MetaMask for Ethereum and Phantom app for Solana. But here's the thing, Coinbase is launching their NFT marketplace
shortly, right?
Dude, it's going to be massive.
So I'm waiting for the easy kind of approach.
By the way,
Coinbase has fees though.
I'm okay.
You try to withdraw and coin out there.
Yeah, so they buy this share.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the biggest NFT marketplace in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So OpenSea is the biggest marketplace right now. With 500,000 users, right? So 500 to 600,000 users on OpenSea. The biggest. And the Coinbase announced they're going to do an NFT marketplace. 2 million people signed up in the first day. And they have 68 million users. So some of those users are going to see NFTs on Coinbase, and NFTs are going to explode again.
Do you think so? Coinbase doing NFTs will be huge thing?
What? Yeah, they are doing this.
Will it be huge thing for Coinbase? What? Stock. For Coinbase.
Yeah. Actually, I forget the stock. I want to trade I want to buy the options. I want to buy the call options again on Coinbase.
You might want to start now.
I lost a lot of money on Coinbase calls last year.
You might want to start now.
Yeah. It's down. It's down, right?
Yeah. It's changing.
What's the Coinbase price? Hey, I invested in Nextco, by the way. It's a new thing. It went from like $10 opening to now $22. Friday. Nextco.
I have no idea what that is.
Robotic security company.
Check it out. I'm only in stocks. I'm only trading Tesla. I'm only trading Coinbase. That's it.
$10 to $22 it has gone up. KSCP. K as in Francis. KSCP. CP.
Well, enjoyed it all.
Hey, what do you think about laws and regulations? Like every now and then these guys want to institute something to ban thing. So
looks like you can withstand cold.
I hate the cold, so I'm about to roll out because I'm not a big cold player.
Oh yeah. It's the warmest it's ever been, really.
Out here?
I mean today, yeah. It's only like
today was beautiful.
Today was great. It's
Okay,
not,
I think I'm gonna go grab some.
this is like nice weather.
Central Market sushi. Well, how you doing?
Where I used to be on the East Coast.
Good.
Well, it's nice there.
Yeah, this is nice weather.
But now it's getting late, and it's getting dark, and it's getting cold.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a cold fan.
I don't have a lot of my food money's kind of tied up.
Me neither.
But when it,
Me neither. I still go out. It's cold.
or just go into some of the spaces here and try to do this. I don't know if I told you, but I'm actually writing a publishing company reached out to me about a book. So I'm actually writing a crypto book. But I saved your card next time last time I got it from you. But they want to, the publishing company, they want to do like crypto conferences in Dallas, or just either one-day events or anything like that. So whatever your rate is at the time, they just said, hey, people in your network to come come talk. I'm like, oh, I got this Leon Gabon, he's got to be there. So I'll reach out to you in the future about a speaking.
Okay, so what's the synopsis of the book or the actual theme?
So the name of the book is called Rose Colored Crypto.
What?
Rose Colored Crypto. So like rose colored glasses or rose colored lens. Basically, the book is going to be geared towards beginner to see like crypto in a positive light.
Then why that's just new to crypto and they want to learn. They want to learn the logistic of it, right?
Yeah. So my story is similar to your. Well, you've been in the space a lot longer, but I got back into crypto with the Robinhood event. I listened to all your podcasts on Brave Money. Your first podcast episode of Brave Money.
It was
Robinhood.
right?
I was like, this is exactly my story.
Oh, you have a podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast.
What platform?
All of them. It's called Brave Money. It's on all of them. So it's just doing Brave Money.
Brave Money.
Yeah, I don't put him out that
Can I
regularly.
do Brave Money?
Yeah, Brave Money.
I find you on Spotify.
Yeah,
I find
Spotify,
you on
yeah.
YouTube. And
Yeah, Brave Money on YouTube. But I don't really put episodes out anymore because I'm on Twitter Space all the time now. So it's like that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Your latest episode about the NFTs was really good.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I want to do I think every single one I want is going to be going to be NFTs. But yeah, I want to talk. I need to do another podcast. I want to talk about the future of NFTs. Where I think it's going.
There's so many use cases. Have you seen the stuff that like Kevin O'Leary talked about, like with the watches?
No.
Well, so Kevin O'Leary, he's invested a lot. He likes watches, and from what he said was like the watch asset class over the last 2 years is like going up like 100%. But he said one of the problems that they have is, especially like the higher tier watches, is people like forging or like fakes. So he's saying he's like in the future you're going to be able to put a QR code or whatever. Like each watch is going to have an NFT attached to it. So like one of the problems they have is insuring the watches because there's so many fakes. So he said NFT basically solves that as far as like insurance purposes. Like once you get a watch, you can have NFT to go with it to show ownership.
Yeah,
but I'm saying there's just so many different NFT applications. Yes, it's going to be bumpy as far as like ebbs and flows and like see what sticks.
Yeah.
But I think just NFTs is a freaking future.
Yeah. There you go, your physical thing. So yeah, it'll have to be an engraved QR code.
Yeah.
Not like a pasted on one, but yeah.
Or maybe like a wallet address, maybe with, I don't know. But I'm just saying that's just, I don't know. But I'm just saying like I've been learning about literally like 6 months ago, like kind of.
I hate watches. The only reason I bought this was so I could show my monkey off.
Oh really? That's hilarious.
Oh, you like the wallpaper.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question. I don't know.
No, you answered the question. The book.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Let me know if I can get a quote in that book.
Well, yeah. I did want to get your question. So part of I've been kind of like finishing things up. I still got to put it in editor, but I'm trying to not necessarily take a Dave Ramsey approach to it, but like what you did earlier when he was asking questions. Like I want people work hard for their money, so I want to make sure like I give sound. But basically, that's what I'm saying is like you need to start off with Bitcoin. I'm saying like 80 for the beginner. I'm like 80 to 90% in like blue chips. I'm like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or like blockchains. I'm like if stuff are being built on it, like that's a good one. But then I was like, if you have 10 to 20%, if you want to go, if you're more risky, I'm like go dabble in other stuff. But I'm like, if you're starting out, for me, you got to start in the blue chips.
That's what I'm starting out with, like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, you just buy and hold for years, man. Just keep buying and holding for years.
Yeah, I mean, I first my exchange. I first started with Coinbase, but then there was too many fees, so I'm actually using Voyager.
Oh, gotcha.
So just
and Celsius.
I use Coinbase with BlockFi.
What are your when is Coinbase marketplace NFT coming out?
It's supposed to be Q1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your thought process on like when they release? Are you just gonna have certain capital set aside that try to scoop up different things, or like what's you're gonna do your play? You're just gonna watch it and see how it plays out, or
I'll sell a lot of my NFTs into the pump. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not buying anything on that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I might buy something on that.
Yeah.
But it's just I've got 70% of my portfolio is NFTs.
Yeah.
A lot of them have gone up a lot. But yeah, I'm just waiting for one. It's going to be Ethereum NFTs. Eventually, it's going to be Solana ones.
Yeah.
Once the Solana ones are on there, I expect mine to like explode.
Yeah.
So even more. So.
What was your take on? Didn't they have some network issues a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. It just got slowed down.
Yeah. Do you think most of the top 10 blockchains will do that just because of the scaling? Like as they get more popular, that'll just be a natural thing as far as upgrades.
Yeah, it's normal. It got fixed.
Yeah.
It got fixed, and it didn't get stopped. It just got slowed. It went from like thousands and thousands of transactions to like 100 transactions.
Yeah.
But there's so many transactions happening, and that's why it took a little bit to work, right?
Yeah.
But people, and like it's been out like a year, like a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Solana, so it's like super new, right?
Yeah.
And people are scrutinizing it.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens with like these early techs. Like Bitcoin had problems, Ethereum had problems, but nobody knows about it because like
they're just now new.
You don't know that ancient history. You know.
Yeah. Well, some people were like, "You mentioned Solana. I invested in Solana. Look what it did." I was like, they're just going through scaling. I'm like, it's a good problem. They're literally getting just follow the money, follow the developers. I'm like, a lot of developers are going over to Solana. I was like, long term, Solana's going to be here to stay and freaking go up. Like, don't worry about a little blip on the radar. If you don't want your Solana, give it to me. I'll hold on to it very tight.
Yeah. Like all the developers.
Solana, right?
Yeah. I'm still in Solana, and most of my Solana is in NFTs.
Yeah.
So you are minting NFT from Solana?
I minted some. I bought some secondary. I bought a lot from secondary.
Solana is like a coin, right?
Yeah.
It's a type of coin.
Ben is saying if Bitcoin goes to 20,000, Solana will go to $5.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
So what's your next target buy for Bitcoin? Because I sold.
No, why'd you sell? Hey, don't sell unless you're.
Okay. I'm
44? Okay. Buy back now. Oh, yeah.
Leon too, right?
You're Leon?
Yeah, I'm Leon too.
Oh, dude, I'm Leon. Oh, no.
Brother from another mother.
We're the battle like Highlander, dude.
Yeah, I know. Right? With Highlander, we're like Bible, dude. Yeah, right.
So there's one Leon.
Yeah, we get some story down and fight.
You'd be the greater gainer than that.
But except,
Thanks for coming, man.
but except this Leon's more knowledgeable in crypto. I'm just a newbie, so
Yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, man.
I'm just learning about different exchange and NFT. So
So you said this, I don't know, maybe a couple of meetings ago, like, when you're, just in general, why are you just like a concentration of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana? You had said it.
I sold all my Bitcoin.
Okay.
I sold most of my Bitcoin into Ethereum early last year.
Yeah.
And I sold most of my Ethereum and all my Bitcoin to Solana at the end of the year.
oh, you can actually exchange Bitcoin like into Ethereum?
No, I sold it on Coinbase.
Oh,
Yeah. I took the capital gains.
just sold it and then invest that into Ethereum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All that on Coinbase, you can do
On
that.
Coinbase. I mean, I can wormhole now Solana into Ethereum, and Ethereum into Solana, which is so cool, but it's kind of scary. Wormhole.
Okay, never heard of it.
Yeah, you can literally convert one coin into another.
One coin to another.
Yeah.
It's called wormhole.
Yeah.
And how do you find out about it?
Was that like shapeshift?
Shapeshift, you're actually, I mean, yes, the same result happen, right? You change one coin to another. This is like, you're not actually doing a trade. You're actually converting one coin into another. I mean, there are like blockchain fees and stuff, but Shapeshift, they charge you a trading fee because you're actually trading a coin.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I mean,
So this is like atomic swap or something like that?
yeah, more atomic swap. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So is that better than actually selling it and then investing in other coins?
Oh, yeah.
And then using wormhole.
That's way better, way better. No, you don't have to. I mean, okay. Well, I mean, you know why that's better, right?
Using wormhole?
Like, are you trying to get it like...
The IRS is not tracking a debt.
Yeah.
They track Coinbase.
Oh, they do check Coinbase?
Well, you know, it's just, if you have a portfolio over $20,000, they send your thing to IRS. If it's less than 20,000, well, you need to put 20,000 in there because you don't have enough crypto.
Yeah, you need to. You need to put 20,000 into Coinbase or crypto anyway. You have to report your capital gains, losses, and gains.
And here's the thing, Coinbase doesn't know everything. They don't know all your other transactions. And so that's going to be between you and your accountant to figure out.
But here's the thing, eventually, right now when you convert, it is supposed to be a taxable event. When you change one coin to another, that's which is bullshit. And my tax guy, who's a really good tax guy, he says it's not going to matter. In the future, it's going to be something called a like as or a similar as transaction. And that happens with assets now, apparently. Like I don't know what, like some kind of physical asset can be exchanged for another of the same kind.
Yeah, the IRS or the Congress for I think 2020 maybe it was 2019, they clarified that as only
But it
only
should-
for real estate.
Oh, yeah, okay. But it should be for crypto. But it's you're gonna have there's so many cryptos, and there's gonna be so many atomic swapping. Like it will have to be the default. And here's the thing: like people are worried about regulation and stuff, but the crypto lobby gets stronger every day. It's gonna be one of the most powerful lobbies in America, in the world. And like they're just going to buy the crypto-friendly politicians. That's how it's going to happen. Like right now, we're going through these aching pains, which is good because it's telling crypto investors, "Hey, we need to support the crypto lobbies, and it needs to get the crypto lobbies to get off their asses because these people should not be regulating crypto. There should be a different regulatory body formed with people who actually understand the technology, not the current regulators who understand securities." And these aren't. And no crypto should be a security, but they're trying to like regulate it like securities. And in addition to that, security laws should change in the first place.
I thought the ISD don't have any, they can't touch like a crypto wallet or anything, like or any exchange.
They can still tax you. They can still tax you. They can still put you in jail.
Oh, like even if you're doing something illegitimate.
What is illegitimate?
I don't know, stealing coins or whatever.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, because then you're gonna have other people coming up.
Yeah, that's different kind of like that's not tax law. That's criminal law. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say with that.
like kind exchange.
Like kind exchange, yeah.
But they have
here's
certain.
the thing that that'll really make you know. So back in the early days of Bitcoin, people were thinking, it's treated as a foreign currency. So you got all these. When you go down to Mexico and party, you get Mexican pesos, and then you come back and trade those pesos back for dollars. There is a de minimis exception on the amount of money that you basically have to report. So they basically made it so that you're not technically breaking the law if you go to Mexico, get pesos, and then come back, and pesos have gone up, gone down based on the US dollar. And so you don't have to tax that. Well, so that works for national currencies. But it doesn't work for other things, assets and things like that. Well, guess what? Bitcoin is now a national currency. Does this de minimis exception apply?
It should. We should have the most friendliest crypto regulations out there, because that would keep like the innovation in the internet of money in America. Right? But these idiots that don't understand Facebook. You watch those Facebook, like, oh my goodness, they didn't understand how Facebook made money. I was like, God damn it! They should not be regulating. But anyway, it's not a problem. It's not going to be a problem because eventually crypto is going to be too big to fail, and there's going to be more politicians that own crypto, and the crypto lobbies, getting crypto-friendly politicians, hired. So yeah, like right now it just sucks. I'm not worried long term. It's just painful and sucks. These security laws, they're jamming in. And there's that annoying guy in California, Brett Shimmer or something like that, whatever his name is. He's very anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto. But there's a person running against him who's also a Democrat, who's pro-crypto. So it's like, oh yeah, Californians, get this lady hired, So, but we'll see. I don't think try to think about that too much, because eventually I do want to support the crypto lobby more, but later on, once I've had a lot more successful startups.
I had a friend who's actually featured on the MSNBC webpage. He actually moved his entire family to Puerto Rico. Because there are some very strong investor taxation rules, and so you don't have to go through all the trouble of and the expense of renouncing your U.S. citizenship to get rid of to escape the U.S. tax jurisdiction.
How much time do you lose though? I just want to do that.
Renounce it?
No, go down to Puerto Rico, and then the time in the flight to come back to his actual residence in Miami.
Yeah.
So it's like you're on the plane 2 times a week, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So
Yeah, because you have to stay at least 6 months in Puerto Rico. Which is like,
Something like that, yeah.
but there's going to be more and more countries that get crypto friendly like that. I'm hoping Singapore is one of them. Because out of like Lisbon and Malta and Puerto Rico and El Salvador, like Singapore is like a high-end first world city, nation state. So, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see. But have a 10-year exit plan. I'll just tell you. Did you hear my speech about which books to read?
Yeah.
Ray Dalio's newest book.
Yeah, Kill Chain.
Kill Chain and The World Changing Order by Ray Dalio. What is Ray Dalio? Like whatever his new book is. Yeah, check it out.
Was it just one?
Yeah, just one.
So if just you have any advice for somebody that's used NFT if they want to?
You have to be on Twitter all the time.
Changing the world order?
Yeah, that
Be on Twitter all the time. I don't even have a Twitter account.
That's step one. Don't buy any NFT until you get on Twitter. You're not gonna know what you're buying.
But why did they use Twitter as a platform?
I'm gonna head out too.
Why would they use Twitter as a platform?
You have to. That's where everyone is. So
So create a Twitter account.
Yeah, Twitter account. You follow me. You have my card, right?
Huh? No, I don't.
Yeah, let me get it. Yeah, give it to your friend.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Thank you.
I see him in.
Leon Gavin. Go.
Recommend somebody that's overexcited about
It sounds like a juicy concept. It is honestly like we're not like if you're actually renting it out, that's a little bit of a service. So whatever they do after they rent it, that part of it is so with the books that I
Yeah, March and April. Right now, okay, awesome. I have long-term.
Not to create like a scam coin. Lots of people are making scam coins where people get into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, rap pool is a real thing.
Come on, scam?
Sell opium.
No scam. We don't want to scam. Because like we've all lost money too. Like my buddies, we've lost like plenty of money on these people who say that they're making a good coin when it's not.
Do you have a website or anything like our
I do not for crypto, but I have. If you want to just take my number down.
Yeah, let me take your number down and I will run it by.
Can I get your number as well before I head out?
Yeah, because if you want to talk about anything.
Well, the reason, not with just Solidity developers, but the Ego Finance, one of the things they specialize in is like they can look at whenever you get done with your contract, they can look at it because what they found is a lot of their customers, some of these like crypto projects, sometimes they're really legitimate.
I just call it on there.
Oh, perfect. Bill, okay.
What was your name?
Matthew. So sometimes these bots, they're able to analyze contracts, and sometimes if you don't do the contract right, the bots will literally soak up all your liquidity and drive it to like zero. So I'm just saying, I know people that can review that if you want. If you're interested.
I've heard a little bit about that because like
whenever
I go into a project, you have to wait like a day and a half for the bot buying and selling to disappear. And it happens on all these coins. The bots go into it, and pretty much the developers, they can ban wallets from buying. So they find the wallets that are bots, and then they ban them. So you can't do that.
Yeah, bots are the real problem. Okay, what's your number?
860. Yep, 461 5072. Bill, B-I-L-L.
You're from here?
I just moved here a month ago. I'm from Connecticut.
I think you gave me your business card last time.
Yeah. I probably did. Blue Creek.
Okay.
What was your name?
Shama, S-H-A-M-A.
I know all the Solana Alpha, but
Phone number 469.
I think I might, 469-386.
Yeah, basically I want her to be a business person instead of a corporate slave, you know, just 4 years of your time and opportunity cost. Like she thinks education is by the time opportunity cost, right? I was telling her like take a gap year and then start. Let's go now.
Well, maybe once she sees how much money can be made in developing your own coins and getting with a team of people, like even at these meetings, meeting people like yourself and other people, like you meet new people that are into it and actually committed to it versus having to do it on your own.
Yes, she's doing TED Talk on February 2nd. I mean, I will forward that to you.
Yeah, give me your number again.
860-461.
4-6.
And also me and my daughter have
5072.
so many good ideas about like projects.
For crypto?
Yeah, I cannot tell you right now. We just brainstorm all the time and then about NFTs and stuff, like how it can be real useful for people. Because nowadays everything is just fun and game and just collectibles, right?
Yeah.
And but so many ways it can be used.
One thing with NFTs, you've probably thought of this, is like you can make a company that manages NFTs for people, but also deals with attaching the NFTs to property. So say you want to sell like a plot of land, you have an acre of land, but you don't want to go through the state, you don't want to pay taxes, you don't want to go through regulations. Pay an NFT company a fraction of the price that you'd be paying the state to do it, and attach the property to the NFT, and then sell it that way. So like I can sell you an NFT, and you own the property right away without having to wait
instead
for
of going through lawyer, like especially those disputes, going real estate agent, lawyer, and you don't have to do anything like a title cost, title fee, just whatever the closing cost would be, just do it like a 100%, like just buy the NFT and you have it forever. The longest, it's just like you just sign it. You are the owner, I'm buying it, one sign, and he's buying it for another sign. So efficient way of transacting, right? Things.
How would you get around adverse possession laws?
Huh?
Adverse possession laws?
What is that?
This is how you steal land in America.
Adverse possession laws.
That's the one danger of certain things, like with all crypto, is if you lose your wallet and your tags, like your password, you're done. Like if you use Uniswap or Trust Wallet, or so all the wallets they're hot wallets, but you can also get cold wallets, which are like offline wallets.
Or use the KIP key.
It's
all physical. A KIP key. You heard of it?
Oh yeah. Isn't KIP key like just a treasure that's
It's a wallet within like a
USB drive.
Exactly, and you can carry it anywhere. Yeah, but it has security in there too. Password.
Sure.
Protected. So keep it in there.
But yeah, so if they give you like a 12 word phrase and you have to remember that or write it down or put it on a USB.
I'm well aware of.
Okay, so you know.
Of BIP39, yes.
Okay, yeah. And if someone is able to get into that, you can lose all your crypto and you can't call anybody about it. Especially with DAOs where there is nobody managing it, you can't call them and say, hey, I lost my password. So it's like all high risk. NFTs are the same. Well, they're the same way, but they're still traced so you can see who owned it previously. So I don't really know, but I guess there's some risk in NFTs.
That's why they charge.
Do you own any?
I don't.
What apps do you use?
I have never been interested enough in NFTs to expend the amount of effort and energy.
Yeah.
I don't know, Moxie Marlin Spike's article on NFTs a few years ago resonated with me. Do you know, have you heard of Signal? The messaging app. He's a pretty big cryptographer. In fact,
but the government
he was a cryptographer before cryptocurrency was a thing.
The government's going to go, hey, property record says this.
We tried to do an NFT and basically dug into it and found out that it's actually really centralized into like 2 or 3 different vendors.
Yeah,
these websites, and didn't even leverage the cryptography features of the blockchain. Even having like digital fingerprints of the things that you're buying attached to it.
I'm not asking.
So his take on it is the current state of the NFT market is
the government is using to determine ownership.
Not so much a farce.
So that's what matters at the end of the day. So what are you going to put on the property record? Is the management company's name?
There was like they turned off his NFT because they didn't like it.
Well, like the people that were technically like
running the websites.
That's anonymous ownership.
Well, that's when you go off and create your own.
Right. Here's the problem though. So the problem is, the idea of decentralization and all this is that, let's say that the man is censoring you.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, you should go off and build your own website. Well,
and you're that guy.
Well, here's the problem. If everyone else is using these centralized services, and if they're unable to appreciate your art and unable to appreciate your ownership of that art because their view of your art is being censored, what is the value in having that art yourself?
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's why NFTs, like, I'm not big into them unless they have utility. Like a year ago, I was like laughing at NFTs. I was like, these things are a joke. But then people started to make utility out of them. But like you're saying, like having it centralized versus decentralized, that's a tough thing with NFTs. Ethereum, you know about like ERC20?
Of course.
Yeah, so those, they can make smart contracts that nobody's really in charge of. Or DAOs, whatever you want to call them. With NFTs, I don't know too much about it, but NFTs, I'm pretty sure they're all managed, right?
I don't know enough about it. But, I mean, it's not like they're using IPFS as the distribution method. What's that? International Planetary File System. It's basically BitTorrent on steroids.
Okay.
Have you heard of Filecoin?
The whole point is decentralized, right? So if you have
you heard of Web3?
I don't see like why accounting
like the game development.
No.
Oh no.
It's an easy way to launder money, right? Because you have an anonymized sale. Because you can go and sell the
talking about at the previous meetup.
Interesting. Okay.
That's money laundering. Paying taxes on it. When they don't verify, they don't know that.
I thought
it's kind of a buzzword.
Then they have to.
I thought it was like a gaming system.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was because there's Web3, Web4, and 5. I bet it might be different. There's probably a bunch.
It's probably a different thing. I don't know if there's a game by the same name, but I mean in the public conscious, Web3 is supplanting crypto as the catch-all term for how you interact with distributed systems in a censorship-resistant fashion, in a fashion that you can own your own data.
I hand it to you.
Like Twitter, you don't know, you don't own your data on Twitter.
Exactly.
It's just anonymous.
Yeah. Well, I like that, and I'm sure the development that's going on right now, they're probably getting closer and closer to that with NFTs. But like you said, I don't know enough about NFTs to know exactly how decentralized they really are. So that's why I'm more into like the contracts, the smart contracts right now.
Really?
Yeah, they're way they're advanced. Really,
but that's like the emphasis is county or government
aspect,
because they want centralized power.
Well, the groups that I'm in right now and the people I've met, we get into smart contracts that have liquidity pools, and they pay reflections, they have taxes on buying and selling, and the liquidity is used for marketing. So it's a really well set up.
What are we doing here?
I've got some small coins.
Oh, we're creating a whole different group here?
No, we're just
rearranging it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I got your card, man. I got to learn more about NFTs.
Yeah.
How to tap into the market, NFTs and all that stuff. So I'm kind of pretty much new to it, really.
Cool, man. Well, good to meet you.
Good. Good to meet you, Leon. Leon number 2?
Yeah,
Leon dos?
I'm Leon number 1.
Leon number uno. Leon number dos. Okay.
So what we were talking about is like if we can make a token and run the marketing, like I meet other marketers and salesmen who can keep the buyers and sellers up, then you can have an inflationary token that'll make millionaires out of everybody that's in it. Like no problem. But lots of these coins, they rug pull, so the people who are holding
I don't
most
think
of it,
so.
they
I
go
feel like the
price
government
up a
wants
little, then it all disappears, and then all those developers hop onto a new
There are other
project
platforms.
where they can make a big amount of
right, they
money
want to
instead
control
of
the crypto
staying
world.
loyal to the people they promised they would.
We're talking about. Have you been listening to what we're talking about? Or?
Not really. No. All I heard was like, you put in your wallet into a USB drive and then give it to somebody. So.
Oh no. So we were talking about using the.
He can answer that. Like we're talking about NFTs, those properties, and then trade it. But why government will allow it?
Oh, trading
So
NFTs.
right now they can't do anything about it.
So you're
Buying
saying
a house with NFTs?
no. An NFT is the ownership of the house. So if you own the NFT, you own the house.
Own the house. Oh.
See, my issue with that is then that has to be in the property records, right? It has to be recorded in the property records.
Yeah.
But the government would never allow that.
No, well, it's a gray.
Why?
It's a gray area right now. It's a very gray area, and I think
Because that facilitates money laundering.
right now what they're doing.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, if it's on the property record, then whoever owns, this Bald ID or whatever owns the property.
So direct selling.
Okay, you can do a physical trade of the NFT outside of the blockchain and no one will be able to know because it's anonymized.
Why does it have to be anonymized?
So you're talking, but at that point, it's like just a database. It's an immutable database. Like, what's the difference between an immutable database and then being on the blockchain? It's just another way to store data. Which,
No. Blockchain, when you transfer from, because it's going to happen through the smart contract, right? You're going to sell one house to him. So it's going to have an entry in the blockchain that now he owns the house. So if we have to report it to government, the government will get the tax or the appreciation.
All you need to do is keep track of the records.
Yeah.
You don't need to have it be an anonymous NFT that's bound to your 12-word seed.
So it's the same thing. Like when you transfer,
That's why crypto is like the Wild West, because with NFTs right now, it's nobody knows. Like, say you could do that, sell a house with an NFT. In 2 years, if Congress says that anything ever traded with NFTs in the past or anything from now on is going to be illegal or whatever they're going to make it, then you're screwed. You can't do it anymore. But I'm hoping that all of us don't want government regulations. So, and living in Texas is probably good for that.
I have heard all the real estate job will be gone, the realtor jobs will be gone, and everything, all the properties. Real estate will adopt this thing first, and everything will be traded through NFT.
Yeah,
because we are exhausting our resources. Like every time I buy and sell house, I have to go to the title office. Why? It doesn't have to be like this. It's just all you need is an entry on the thing that it is. I'm transferring this thing to you, so it can be done through the contract.
See, that's what I have hope for, because right now the people in the younger generations, we're all getting into NFTs, so it's like
in the future, that's probably going to be, people are going to want it more. Versus generations that, say, people who were in like their 70s and 80s, they don't care at all. They just want to do everything how they're used to. So
analog phone,
and I agree with like, I don't.
Write a letter, then the email came, then the phone came, then now everybody is sending money through the phone. So
we need to create more NFTs so we expand the metaverse. Yeah.
And do you know what metaverse is? There is a light bulb.
Metaverse is like it's used in VR right now. So
no, another thing. You heard about the teleporting, right?
The what?
I can send you from here to the Singapore right now, right?
Virtually. Like,
so that's the same concept. The teleporting concept, any concept that before happened, like 100 years, 50 years ago, whatever the movie you saw, everything will happen. But
kind of like a hologram, like a hologram of your.
But same thing. Do you have time to go to time and money to go to Singapore and attend a conference right now? You want to minimize the time for the travel, right?
Yeah.
So you go with the VR. This is like a teleporting, and over there you will feel the same thing as you're feeling right now because all those things are points and joints will be connected with you.
Kind of like in video games. Yeah, like a video game. You put all these things.
The only thing about metaverse
is experience exactly the same thing what you would experience physically here.
Yeah.
So what's the point of spending money to the travel and going? They are getting exhausted. So you can finish your VR and come back and sleep, right? So it's just like another way of teleporting things. So you understand the teleporting, right? So it's a big thing because of this. People will save time and money and will experience exactly the same thing.
You can feel it, everything.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, but I thought about that for like health reasons though, because think about having a screen on your face and you're not actually interacting with the people. It'll be close to the real thing, but not 100%. So I think there's going to be like bad health complications, like over time with VR. Like people
never thought about
I have an Oculus though. And I just joined like a real live concert. Using the Oculus VR though.
But it is better than not going there at all, right? Because
that's true.
It's just like a phone. So much radiation is going into our head, right?
Yeah.
But can you live without phone?
Can I what?
Can you live without phone, cell phone?
No.
So
no one
it's
can.
the same thing. So it just will adopt. Our brain will evolve differently. But all we want is this humanity wants to save time. Time is the most valuable commodity. So anyway, they will.
Time's the only thing you can't get back. So,
But because now it takes too much time to go to bank and transactions. So all the goals of human being has is to save time, right? Anyway, you can accomplish whatever you can accomplish to saving time, right? So
if I was able to get a this is off topic, but if I was able to get a contract on Solidity and like make it as close to possible as I want it and send it to your daughter, would she be able to work on it and like we can do a test launch? Like, is she good enough to? Okay.
Yeah, but we need to sign up a contract so that she gets get her.
We'll pay. Yeah. But see, we want to do some test launches and kind of weed out all the bugs because every contract has some bugs in it that people can get to. So our group has some people that are like kind of like really, really good internet. I don't want to say hackers, but like they know how to get through things if they need to. So we want to launch it, see if they can get through any of the contract that we wrote and find problems with it, and then make sure that we change that. So when we launch the project, we never have to shut it down to change the contract.
Yeah, everything has to be done in the test bed first, so that it is
exactly.
And no problems because otherwise, all the liquidity will be gone. If some hackers can get in and take all the money.
Which we're pretty much copying a contract from someone else because that's what everyone's doing nowadays. Is they take good contracts and they take them and they edit them a little bit and. The only way that these points grow is about marketing. Like the contract doesn't matter. It's all marketing. It's all about who you hire. It's about how many people you pay, how many people make videos, and the marketing aspect is easy. Like I've been doing it for years, and my friends have been doing it for years. So
sell it to the dumb people, and they will take it to the next level.
There you go.
Without dumb people, nobody can do anything.
Yeah.
Smart people cannot do anything without dumb people.
Yeah. Well, you need the believers. People believe it, and then then people will see the utility in it, and then it takes off. So.
Because everybody pays $100 and 1 million people $100 million, right?
Yeah. Well, also like the groups I'm in, what we do is we push projects that just start and they have like a 10,000 market cap, like literally $10,000 market cap. We'll push it to somewhere around like 200,000, and then we'll get it up to like with just like marketing, we'll get it up to $500,000, and from there it kind of takes off because people are into it.
Yeah. Okay, I was waiting for you. Okay, I have to go. Okay, I will tell her to.
Okay, nice meeting you, man.
Yeah,
Cool.
Cool, take care. Good to meet you.
Okay.
She'll definitely come.
Yeah, just have her shoot me a text, and even if I don't know if we're going to do it immediately, but in the future, and I can add her to our telegrams. They're like private telegrams, but if she wants to kind of figure out what we're doing.
She's so excited about Blockchain, yeah. I have your number. So 860-461-5036.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, nice meeting you.
Cool.
Yeah, I got to use it back.
Yeah.
You can
A lot of good knowledge.
say everything about that.
So there was a big scandal around this because the counties weren't getting their cut of this property being reassigned between different banks. So sort of already does happen, but in a shitty way. That and there's no money to do it for the property record system.
There's no money to have. You can't charge anything, right?
I mean, who are your customers? I mean, one of my employees built a property record system, and he tried to sell it in, I want to say Madagascar. It was kind of and there was a revolution, and like the new government came in and said, "Yeah, we're not going to pay your bills." And what do? You don't. How do you collect on a sovereign? It's very difficult.
So are you like you own a company or something? Or
I used to. It just didn't go so well.
Okay.
I had a hard time.
Oh, what do you do now?
I'm a full-time dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like,
I don't know.
what type of dev? Like app, mobile, web?
I'm more in the protocol design science, computer science.
Are you guys gonna be hanging out for a while?
DevOps.
You guys gonna be hanging out for a while?
Are you trying to head out?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna use the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. I might move downstairs. I didn't bring a jacket.
Yeah, it's
it gets chilly as it goes into the night.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
You're a full-time DevOps or?
No, I mean, I want to get into DevOps. I want to know a little bit about that. That was a hobby that I had wanted to.
Yeah, DevOps is mostly scripting. I think from what I heard.
To trivialize it, yeah.
Yeah, they do with AWS.
Are you in like CS or are you what?
Oh, me, I'm into like the system admin, but I in the past I done front end development as a freelance, and I'm learning about QA engineering. So
learning about what?
QA engineering, quality assurance engineering.
QA. Okay.
We use different type of language. We just test script and all that stuff. So I'm learning into that. So
Huge demand for that. Yeah, we had the hardest time finding good QA people.
QA? Oh. Your company?
I feel like everyone just wants to be a dev. Maybe. Is it, like I had some QA offers and I was just like, pay is lower and just not as big of a title. Like why would I go that route? And,
depending on what is it, the QA automation, you'll pay high.
Yeah, QA automation. But
yeah. You know what kind of language, like JavaScript or C#, they pay pretty high.
But like
QA engineer.
my company, the devs do the QA automation.
I mean, that's the test-driven development. I mean, that's
the dev. I don't think they have enough time to do automation like QA. There has to be another team that does that. If it's a big company, yeah. If it's small, yeah.
It's very hard to see your own problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Like QAs are pretty good.
Exactly.
So Where do you work at? You work for a company or?
No, I sold my company.
No, what do you do? Like, where do you work for right now?
I don't.
Oh, so you're in like research or something along those lines, or what are you doing?
I mean R&D.
Okay, that's
type
cool.
stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm keeping my eyes open for a new project to dive into. But
freelancing?
No, I don't know about freelancing. I mean, once you've done a startup, it's.
I've done a lot of freelancing on Upwork in the past.
Yeah.
Upwork and all that stuff.
I would say work because I feel like there's so much competition from like.
There is a lot of competition.
Yeah.
It all
Let's go
depends.
downstairs where it's warmer.
Nothing.
I'm moving downstairs where it's warmer. You guys want
Okay, guys, man. Nice to meet you guys. Haven't really got to converse, but
hopefully we'll catch you next time.
okay, next time. There's a lot of.
Alright, cool. And then,
I'm actually recording the meetup, so
you can follow
you know, I'm actually holding my phone, and I place a phone on some of the table too, and I'm gonna create a YouTube video, so I'll be posting on there, so take a look out.
appreciate it.
Oh wait, go back.
So next time I'm gonna have like 5 different phones laying on the table, so I can record all of the conversations. So
That's some homework to do. I'll try to get some power. Try to polish myself.
oh yeah. On the last video, I actually post a link on YouTube, so you can check that out too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Alright, gentlemen.
It's actually.
I appreciate you guys.
See you, man. It was nice to meet you. Miggy NFT. The page name is Miggy Crypto. And then here I'll put on my actual Facebook too.